journals may vary from instructor to instructor, class to class. So this is just kind of an idea of what you can do in a journal. We're going to go on into week 1. This is where we've been experimenting and going through and using our examples here. As you can see, chapter 1, some summary information as well as important concepts. I recommend in your course that you actually read the materials before you go down to the graded assignments. Now, this assignment is just an example, so it's not one of your graded assignments, but as you can see, there are two things down here that say journals. So which one do I start with? Well, you want to start in chronological order for one, and you want to start with the materials. So journal materials, how do you predict the weather? There are some instructions here for you. You want to be sure and read through that. For time purposes, we're not going to do that because we're not going to really complete this assignment. It's just an example. It does show us that it's a hyperlink, so there's more information for us. This time it's taking us to a virtual lab. This virtual lab is outside of the Blackboard course, but it is something that your instructor is grading that you will need to complete. So read through all of the instructions, and you can have your objectives here, your procedures. You'll notice there's a journal down here that it tells you that's where you want to keep it, but this is not contained within Blackboard. So in your instructions, it tells you you'll need to copy the journal over into your actual Blackboard journal, but you can keep it there if you would like. I recommend daily if it's an external area that you go in there and you copy it into Blackboard. That way you have a copy of it inside Blackboard. So how do you do this? You'll want to click on the next one that has to do with the journal, and you will see it will open up, create the journal. You can view some drafts here. You'll notice right now you don't have any drafts, so let's go ahead and complete one. So we'll start with our journal. We need to give it a title. More than likely your instructor will give you information on this. So I've got day 1 done, I've got day 2 done, but I don't have 3 and 4. So what I need to do is save this entry as a draft. So I save it as a draft and I hit OK. It takes me back to where we were, but I'm not ready to do this. So I'm going to go back to my course content. I'm going to do some other things. And then you'll notice when you log back into your course, your instructor may or may not have put a quick link to your journal. If they have, you just click on it and you can go to your journal. You'll notice it's private. That means you haven't sent it to your instructor yet. You have 0 entries. So you must submit it to your instructor for it to be graded. So let's go into this journal. And what I did was just click on the drafts where I'd saved it. And then I add my next 2 days to this, and I add all of the information that has to do with the grading rubric and what's expected of this. The next thing I want to do is I want to post my entry. When you post your entry, what that does is it takes it to the grade book and it submits it for your instructor to grade. So as you can see, you still have draft information, but there's nothing in there because you've submitted it now. But you can see what you have submitted to your instructor for them to grade. If you want to double check and make sure that it's submitted, you can go to your grade book and you'll notice that your journal up here on how to predict the weather is located here. It was submitted at 9:46 a.m., showing that you did actually turn it in, but there's no grade yet because that shows that it needs grading. So that is something that we'll need to do as the instructor, and once it's graded, then you'll have a grade in the grade book. This is just a really quick version of what a journal can look like. Again, it may look different from instructor to instructor and course to course.